Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today, major changes coming to MSNBC. The world of cable networks is changing faster than even I expected, as Comcast plans to break out their cable networks. For most of them, that's not a big deal, but spinning off MSNBC could have major ramifications for the network. We'll tell you what they are. Spectrum reported losing a bunch of subscribers, but they have a plan. We'll see what's happening there. And Fubo added subscribers in the third quarter. Can that continue without Warner Brothers Discovery channels, or do those channels just not matter anymore? Do people just not care about TNT and True TV the way they did, especially now that they're losing NBA games? These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First, though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes down below, and in the first pinned comment, I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button or hitting the thumbs up. We do videos like this every Monday through Friday, and we do other videos, breaking news, reviews, how-tos, and more right here to help you break free from the high cost of cable TV. Hitting subscribe or hitting that thumbs up, doing one or both, lets YouTube know you like what we do, and then they recommend our videos to more people. With that said, let's dive into it. Comcast is shifting its cable networks, we talked about this last week, to an independent company. This is in the early phases, but they've announced that they're looking at doing this. For most of the networks, very low impact. Even for CNBC, that's been run as an independent news organization for quite some time. But MSNBC has been heavily tied to its NBC News. According to the reports from the Hollywood Reporter and others, NBC News will remain with Comcast. MSNBC News will be spun off. Now, with that, it raises questions. MSNBC News heavily uses NBC News resources and staff in order to produce their shows, get local news, and other resources. Breaking it off could force a couple things. MSNBC would have to maybe turn around and pay money to the NBC News department to get access to this in a way that would raise costs and make the network maybe even less profitable. The other thing is they would have to build their own system or reimagine the network into something that's more of a political commentary and news commentary service rather than a news reporting service. Already many cable networks, in the evenings, the majority of their content is political commentary. No matter what you think of either one, both of them are heavily evening focused on talk shows where you have a particular host with a particular point of view giving their opinions on the news and politics of the day. Could see MSNBC shift that way with this. But no matter what happens, this is a significant change here. I talked about this a little last week, but Comcast isn't doing this just like, hey, we think we want to get this over here, that'd be better for our business structure. They're doing this because they're worried about the dead weight that these offer pulling down their books. That much like AT&T spinning off DirecTV into its own company that they owned a majority of and were able to take profit from, with it being an independent private company, they didn't have to put the negatives on their books. They didn't have to report the subscriber numbers. They didn't have to report the losses and other things with it. Much the same we're going to see here. This is seemingly an attempt to break free from having to report all those numbers, something that will definitely have an impact going forward. We'll keep a close eye on this, but I think the network hardest hit, and I agree with the Hollywood Reporter, is going to be MSNBC. Could force dramatic changes at the network. All right, Spectrum lost 294,000 TV subscribers and 110,000 internet customers in the third quarter of 2024. This comes as increasingly a number of Americans are joining the cord cutting 2.0 movement, ditching not just cable TV, but cable internet for new options like 5G, home internet, fiber, and others. There's so many great options out there that allows you to save money and break free from this cost that there's just not a need like there was in the past to pay for Spectrum TV and Spectrum internet. Used to be you had one or two high-speed internet options. Now, increasingly with 5G home internet, Starlink, fiber options, and more, people are getting 5, 6, 7 or more options depending on where you live. Even just having 3 or 4. I apologize, I can't remember the study I saw on this, but there was a study that said when there's 3 or more options in a market for home internet, 2 things happen. Typically, data caps start vanishing. You have more options without data caps, and 2, pricing starts coming down. When there's 2 or fewer high-speed internet options, you often end up with data caps and pricing going up. And That sounds right to me from what I've seen over time. We saw recently, now that 5G home internets have an impact, both Comcast and Spectrum have launched cheaper internet plans, especially with Comcast's Now Internet. No data cap. Yeah, it's not the fastest, but 300 down for most people is all the speed they need. If you're just streaming Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, you're surfing the web, paying bills, maybe you have a security camera in your home, that's more than enough. You don't need a gig. I think a lot of people get caught in that, I need the fastest. And maybe you do. Maybe you're a gamer, maybe you're like me, and you upload large files, and the up speed's very important to you, and you're paying attention to that. But for most people, that's not the case. So keep that in mind. Let me know, have you broken free from the high cost of cable TV? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, Fubo added 163,000 subscribers during that same period. Just as Spectrum and Comcast lost subscribers, Fubo added. It's a very typical period to add as football season's kicking off, and Fubo is heavily focused on that. But raises the question, Warner Brothers Discovery channels are not included in Fubo. Is this a sign of just a temporary bump? With this, with football, and maybe this will change with March Madness? Or is this a sign that people just don't see a need for Warner Brothers Discovery channels, and they're willing to get a service without them if it has the features they want? This comes as Max does offer most of the sporting events on True TV, TNT, and the like through a Max subscription without needing to go and have a service like Fubo. When that deal was announced, I did post that, hey, Fubo customers can now watch all the TNT sporting events. And I think with Fubo pushing itself as a sporting service, most people aren't subscribing to watch reruns on TNT or whatever show may be on that. They're subscribing for sports. And this may be all they need. Very interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But question to you, how important are Warner Brothers Discovery channels to you? You got March Madness, but like I said, you could get Max for that. Does that impact you or does that not impact you? What are your thoughts on Warner Brothers Discovery channels? I've said this before, and I'll say it many more times. Increasingly, if you're not a sports fan or a news fan, why are you paying for a live TV service? A lot of this content's available other places. You can get an antenna for locals. And increasingly, people are switching to on-demand services like Disney+, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, and others. With that, look for this to become a growing trend. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think, how important those are. That's my question of the day. All right, Dish and DirecTV are still struggling to get approval for creditors as part of its merger, which is really DirecTV buying control of Dish. Now with this, Dish creditors need to agree to what's called a debt swap, where basically they say, we have currently a debt with Dish, as parent company EchoStar. We want to take that debt and swap it over, and we'll accept a new debt holder of DirecTV. Apparently, some customers have been debt holders been pushing back, and they have an upcoming deadline of this month to reach a deal on this, or it could impact the deal. Now, I fully believe that they'll be able to reach this. The question is, what will it cost DirecTV? Both companies seem to be pretty firm that this deal needs to happen in order for both companies to survive. Keep a close eye on this, though. There could be big changes to how the DirecTV Dish deal is formed. Still not expected to close until late next year, but critical moment coming this month. All right, let's keep moving along through a few other stories. Pluto TV is getting in the holiday spirit with 4 Christmas channels. 3 of them are live now. The 4th should be coming soon, maybe live before I even post this video. But check it out, Pluto TV, tons of holiday content now available. If you're a Dr. Phil fan, he's going to be doing election night coverage. This may be the strangest election night coverage announcement. He has a new channel called Merit TV. They have a subscription service, is available on a wide range of different streaming services. Raymond's got a great post here. Check out the show notes with all the ways to watch it. But starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, America Decide 2024 will be hosted by Dr. Phil and will run throughout the evening. And at 7 p.m. will expand with his personal coverage on it. If you want to check that out, let me know. Has anybody watched Merit TV? What do you think? But we have a full guide on how to watch it. One more option to get your election night coverage. Anybody excited for those political ads to finally go away? I am. I'm just ready to be done with those. The Roku channel saw viewership jump 80% in 1 year, saw an 80% increase in viewership from third quarter 2024 to third quarter 2023. Keep an eye on this. This is the growing trend of people watching ad-free or ad-supported free content, not ad-free, ad-supported free content on things like Pluto TV, the Roku channel, Tubi, Freevee, and others. Increasingly, I've been seeing the trend. The quality content's better there. It's pulling people in. And I find once people start using it, they are pretty happy. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. And Pluto TV also announced 4 other new channels coming this month with the addition of the, or should I say, the return of the 007 Bond channels with even the newer Bond movies and some PBS content. If you want to find a full list of everything coming to Pluto TV, I got a link to it in the show notes. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. We're going to be breaking down everything happening in the world of cord cutting over at cordcuttersnews.com. Please take a moment and go check it out. Not everything we cover there ends up in these videos. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll be back again real soon.